Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indie Game Club. We're super excited to have you. We were obviously off last week for Thanksgiving, but we're back at it again. Excited to talk about 4 more exciting indie games for you. My name is Michael Zytkow. I am the executive director and founder of Potions and Pixels, nonprofit organization based out of beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm broadcasting from right now. I'm really excited to have this amazing group of guests here today. I think we're just going to jump right into it and get to these introductions before we go to our 4 games, which let me hit you all with. Pink River, ElecHead. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I think that's the pronunciation, right? ElecHead. Yeah. Smash and Dab and Sludge Life. Super excited to be talking about those. Super excited to have you all in the chat as well. I see, Tony, I think we're getting a little feedback on you. Okay, cool. And I also see people in the chat already, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you participating. I love also seeing developers in the chat as well. So we have Vimy, who was here 2 weeks ago. Hey, Vimy, how are you? We played an awesome game that Vimy played, King of the Cul-de-Sac, 2 weeks ago. Really loved it. So glad to have you back in here. Let's get to these introductions, folks. Awesome group of people, as always. Let's start off right here where I am. I'll shift pass the ball over to my left with Dirigitive. Dirigitive, can you let the wonderful folks at home know who you are and how they can find you online?
I'm Dirigitive. I'm a obscure variety streamer, I guess is what you'd call me. I do games that are overlooked and underrepresented over on twitch.tv/Dirigitive. It's DIRIGITIVE. Should be in the chat as well. Yeah, I'm glad to be back after the turkey coma.
Exactly. So glad to have you. Let's clap it up as we always do, everyone. Thank you, Dirigitive, for being here. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to talking these games with you. Next, rocking that awesome Potions and Pixels shirt that she made herself. That's amazing. Angelic Layla, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. Of course. I'm Angelic Layla. I'm technically a variety streamer, but I've been focusing on Shinobi Striker and that community for a while now. You can find me on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is Angelic Layla. You can also find me in the Athena Alliance. I am one of the stream team goddesses for the Athena Alliance, and you can catch all of us goddesses there as well. Um, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back.
Always love having you.
After the turkey coma.
For sure, for sure. And actually, we should also say that, Layla, you've been dropping some amazing cooking videos over on your social media pages lately.
Oh.
So make sure Layla's branching off and doing some additional cooking stuff. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I actually just started a TikTok account, and it's where I literally have just been dabbling in cooking recipes. So it's pretty much just videos of me making new foods that I haven't tried yet, with music, and it's great. I love it. So
That's
just
awesome.
branching off to TikTok and whatnot. So.
Make sure to check that out, folks. For sure. And Layla, and any of our folks here, if you guys don't mind dropping any of your other social media chat information, social media digits, as I always say, the old timer here, drop that stuff in the chat and all that good stuff. Let's welcome Angelic Layla. Thank you, Layla, for being here. Appreciate you as always. All right, let's go down to this second row over here. Rocking that beautiful double tone hairstyle. I love it. I need to get that. Jordan, do you remember I used to have like gray and purple and all that stuff when we first met? I need to get back on my game, man. You've inspired me.
Oh, good. Well, you partially inspired me in the first place.
Hey, so, man, that's how it works. I love that. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jordan. I guess known on my stream as Tempest. I stream to twitch.tv/Tempest636. I usually do competitive StarCraft 2. I dabble in a little bit of Dark Souls speedruns and a lot of other indie games as well. So check me out. I also did the Extra Life 24-hour charity stream this year.
That's awesome.
I think they're still taking donations well into December usually, so you don't even have to donate to mine. It doesn't matter. It all goes to charity. Just find something, extra-life.org, and donate. It's super dope. And as always, happy to be here, Mike, to analyze the games.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in Extra Life and being awesome all around, man. Let's clap it up for Jordan. Appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. And last but certainly not least, we got Tony Taiga. Tony, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. Hey guys. Tony Taiga, 90. My name's Tony. Of course, like I said, that's my gamer tag. My social media accounts all took Tony Taiga 90. In fact, my reoccurrencing on this show has made me change my Instagram and my Twitter names just for this. But definitely, a few games I got in rotation right now is Quantum Break. Playing a lot of Ys 8. I would definitely highly recommend that to anybody. I played it one time. I'm playing it again. Playing a full through of it again. And also, I like to say this. My name's Tony, and I like to play video games.
I always love that short and sweet introduction there. And also, shout out to I love Quantum Break was a really fun one. Shout out to Remedy Games if they're watching over there in Finland. I'm really excited to play Control. I think I'm going to start that this weekend. It came out today on Game Pass. That's the last Remedy game I haven't really played. Let's clap it up for Tony. Thank you so much as always for being here. Thank you, Tony. Awesome. Well, let's get to this conversation, folks. Hey, thank you, Mystic Titaness, for those bits. That's so kind of you. Really appreciate it. Mystic, of course, is an amazing streamer. If she's been a guest on this show. Mystic, let me make sure to drop the... Layla, do you mind helping on that front? Thank you, Layla. Layla's kind of keeping everything alive from a tech standpoint on Twitch here. So thank you, Mystic. Really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's get over to these games that we got. Of course, we got 4 lined up for you. Really excited to discuss them. The first one we are going to be discussing is Pink River, which you all can see on the screen right now. I'll give a brief description of Pink River before we jump into the discussion. According to the itch.io page, where you can find this game for the name your own price, which, could be free, or it could be, hopefully, if you're feeling generous, donate something to the developers. This game was made in under 48 hours for the GMTK Jam 2020. If you're not familiar with that, it's one of my favorite YouTube channels, Game Maker's Toolkit. You gotta watch it. I promise you're going to love it. Game Maker's Toolkit, amazing. The game Pink River is a game about a raft that you can't steer. You have to rebuild it as you go. I got a lot to say about this game, but I'll toss it over to you guys first. Anybody want to kind of describe that a little bit more for the folks at home to kind of understand what we mean here? They see the video. What's the gameplay looking like, and how did you feel about it?
It's definitely one of those, I call them score attack games, your mobile style ones where the point is to just get farther or get more points. In this case, it's getting as far as you can. In fact, when you die, you do see your previous corpse being like swarmed by piranhas as you get past them. So
yeah, I didn't notice that till later. I didn't notice that till much later.
I didn't notice that either.
I'm glad you mentioned that on here. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I didn't know exactly what, because it almost has like that infinite runner element to it, that the game kind of continues on. As you guys can see here, you have this raft that the only way to essentially move is by picking up blocks, parts of the raft, and rebuilding the raft as you go and avoiding these obstacles. I thought this would be like a perfect one for an arcade cabinet. In fact, I'd love to talk to the developers about putting it in one. Jordan, how did you feel about this one?
I definitely liked it. It's one of those games where they just throw you right in without really explaining that much. So you start bumping into things, and you're like, oh, that wasn't mine. That blew me up. Okay, let's rethink this. I didn't put too much time into it, just a handful of attempts, maybe 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But I could already tell, like, in that time, I was like, let's try kind of 2 rafts. Like, maybe I'll have a space and I can jump between them, and that way there's always a hole. So if one goes down, it's like not the end of the world. Like, I could see, I don't want to say the strategy is limitless because, you're still just working with blocks, but I could definitely see it being more complex than it looks at face value, and I love that kind of game.
For sure. Yeah, I could see them expanding on this in a number of different ways. I mean, one thing I guess I have a question for you guys is, from my play of the game, like the crystals that you collect seem to focus at this point is purely on score. You can't actually use them for anything, right? Unless
from what I could tell, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I could see like opportunities for upgrades. I don't know. I really got the feeling of like a Downwell sort of feeling to this game. I know that they're still kind of quite different. I guess you could say roguelike elements in certain ways and in procedurally generated levels. But it gave me that vibe, maybe the color palette as well. Tony, you said no? You want to keep it simple? Or what?
I think you make a very good observation. At first, I was going for the crystals. I was like, hey, let me go in crystals, but then I was like, you know what? It is a puzzle game. It is a puzzle game. It's a very quick think on your feet, constantly reconstructing, sort of Minecraft style of your raft. I actually started going more into seeing how far I can go.
Yeah,
and I think I know this probably sounds like a small number to you guys. I actually got 273 meters and 13 crystals.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What was your strategy for that?
The crystals become a much easier thing when you realize you don't actually have to collect them. You're just have to touch them.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if the developers have longer term plans to develop this or add features, or if the crystals were kind of a game mechanic that wasn't fully implemented here. Layla, what about you? What was your like general strategy? Did you go like the wide raft or the long one or multiple separated ones? How'd you play this one?
So for one, it took me forever to actually figure out what the heck what was happening, like what I was supposed to be doing. But I did try to go the long way. But I'm just, like I said, I'm really bad at these types of games. So I would literally try to take one part of the raft and like throw it over to like get the crystals, because I thought that the same thing, that was the point of the game, was to grab as many of those as you can. I hate the mer people, by the way.
Yes.
Every time I died,
could not find any way to protect myself from them. So that drove me insane.
I'm glad you mentioned them.
A long way, and it just
is not a way to protect yourself from those guys. That was a good
find one.
Basically, just having a long raft and being able to like bait them to like one spot and just run over. That was like really the only thing.
Yeah, after the shot is released, they shoot like 4 missiles or something, if we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
After the shot is released, all 4 of those go to the same spot. So if they're midair, You take like 2 steps to the left, they're going to hit where you were.
And I assume they shoot it based on the last like known location, right? That sort of thing.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that was by far the number one killer for me. Especially like when you get towards the end and you're standing on your lowly, 1 block raft and just hoping that you'll survive. Those mer people were killing me for sure.
My like instinct is like a roll or dodge button, so I kept trying to jump, but jump doesn't actually dodge them unless you move over. So it's just like taking lots of damage.
And so I'm looking at the. I never actually looked at the trailer for it before until now. It looks like you can catch the mer people with the cages.
Oh, no way!
No,
I'm literally watching it right now. I think that you can literally catch the mer people.
That's why the cages were there.
Okay, I got you guys. So my understanding is, if you run into the mer people with anything, they die. But did you notice that there's like they're not as defined because they're underwater? They're like hollow. There's actual fish in the game. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think the boxes, the crates, like the crab catching crates, catch those. And when they wiggle, it means they're full. And the point of that is to heal you, but it's better than a heart, right? Like a heart, you have to reach it, and then it's instant heal right then. Whereas if you use the crate, the fish will come to the crate. I assume there's bait in it or something, and then you can choose when to use the heal. You don't automatically get healed. If you pick up that crate, it heals you. When you put it back down, the crate stops wiggling because you ate the fish, I guess. I don't know. So it's like a heal.
I didn't notice it either. I love that.
Oh, you know.
That is cool. So did you use that as part of your strategy? Yes. Nice.
I stopped going for hearts and I went for crates.
And so when they were shaking, when the crates, the cages, the fish cages were shaking, is that the point where you knew that they were...
That's when I knew it was full. Yeah, that's when I knew if I picked it up to move it to somewhere else, the picking it up action would heal me. So you can even have multiple crates and multiple of them shaking. So if you get hit a bunch by the merm people or whatever, you can have multiple heals already lined up in your raft.
That explains so much, because while I was playing, I didn't notice.
My mind, when I saw the shaking, was like, oh, this is going to disappear.
Yes, me too.
Okay, I thought so too. I don't know. Same with Layla. The first 2 or 3 rounds, I was like, what is even going on? Like, but I learned that, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure, shaking means you caught a fish, and picking it up will get a burst heal. And you put it back down and stop shaking, like, because the fish is gone.
I honestly thought it was like an unimplemented feature, because my mindset was like focused on once I figured out the crystals like didn't have like an element to it, I was like, oh, well, the cages were an uncompleted, mechanic to them. But I'm so glad you guys discovered that. Layla, did you see? I'm looking at it as well. Could you get the mer people as well in there? Is that a possibility?
So he was saying that anything like that knocks into them kills them.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was thinking that you could use it to catch them.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Get rid of them. But he's saying that you can use that crate to catch all. You see how the fish are all going in there?
Yeah.
That's how you heal. I wish I knew that.
I wish I did too.
Trial and error. I mean, I just, was like, this has to do something.
This is what I love about Indie Game Club. We discovered this stuff. Like, as we play, we learn this stuff. What's cool about that, which you guys mentioned, though, there also has me thinking about, like, the mines as well, where if everybody sees there's those black, like, spiky mines in the water. And one way of kind of attacking them, if you will, if you can't outright avoid them or create a space for your raft, is you can like set up like one block like further forward than the rest of your raft.
That's a really good idea.
So then it explodes and doesn't explode and like do splash damage to all the other elements of it. So that was one kind of, I don't know, offensive defensive approach I took to that.
I like that.
Yeah, this has a lot of cool stuff to it. I see Vimy is saying lovely color palette, simple and clean design. I definitely love the color palette. I thought that this game would be perfect, like Downwell, and actually like ElecHead, or ElecHead, however it's exactly pronounced. I love the potential here for like a palette switch, right? You could see it, right? Where you could just switch between a different 2 or 3 color, I guess 4 color scenario here. To be able to try other stuff. Is there any other things you guys would like to see in this game if they went forward with a
leaderboard version? I think would be the one thing I think would really get people to keep playing it.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
A pause menu.
A pause menu. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I literally like pulled up my phone. It's like it's not pausing.
Yeah.
I definitely like your suggestions, Mike. What was that game where you're moving down the raft, except you can kind of park and check the woods? Is it like the Flame and the Flood or something like that?
Oh.
Or
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my mind went to when you were describing how like you could use I think they look like rupees, so I kept calling them rupees.
Yeah,
but I guess I'm just
yeah.
a huge Zelda person. But that's what my mind went to. I'm like, well, maybe there's either levels or just stations, like risk versus reward. You can stop at a station and use the rupees for something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stronger boxes.
That element
That could be
actually
neat,
really reminded me of a game that I highly recommend. It's one of my favorite local, I guess it was online multiplayer too, I should say. I play it as well. Unrailed. I don't know if you guys have played this game before. It's a 4-player cooperative game where you are operating a train. And as you're operating the train, you actually have to build the tracks as it moves forward. I promise you guys are going to be so addicted to this game. You're going to thank me for sure. You should all check it out.
Like the Wallace and Gromit scene?
It was that?
There was. I don't know. Yeah, it was like I forget which one's the dog. I apologize. Any British
the diehard
TV
Wallace and
knowledge
Gromit
credit I got is gone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the dog is like he's on the train. I think it might have been one of the movies, and he's just grabbing a rail from behind and throwing it up front, just going fast.
It's similar to that,
exactly
except you don't do the part where you're taking apart other stuff. You actually have to work as a team because some of you have to chop wood, some of you have to mine ore, and you do that in order to build the tracks. But by chopping wood and mining ore, you're also clearing a way for your tracks to go through. And so I highly recommend that. Definitely check that out because I think that could be a great inspiration for this one as well. Because in that game you get upgrades, so you can build faster, or you can have your train produce dynamite, that sort of thing. Yeah, a lot easier to talk about if you guys have tried it. So definitely, I welcome you to check it out for sure. Layla, what do you think? Any things you'd look for in a full version of this game that you'd want in?
Pretty much just like what everyone else was saying. I like that it's pretty much it's simple, but it's not like
Yeah.
I'm okay. So now from going forward, I'm gonna watch the freaking trailer to everything. They just
This one didn't have a trailer actually. Just in your defense, I had to find this other video.
They literally just used one of the blocks to block the mer people from shooting at you. You can use it as a defense.
It actually blocked the shots?
Yes, I'm literally watching this.
Okay,
So
I didn't know
would have
that.
known that too. They literally picked up one of the blocks and pointed towards the mer person and defended themselves.
No way.
Yeah, now I gotta check to see if it was like a file that was sitting on there.
No, hold on. Can you can't stack them vertically, can you? It has to go down into the water, right?
No, I think he just has to be in the water. Yeah.
Oh, but I
Okay.
think what Layla's saying is because the shots come
they
up.
picked it up. Yeah, so they
Oh.
literally picked it up and faced towards the mer person.
I'm about to
And they
re-download this.
Oh, I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna go back and we're gonna redo this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This has me totally down to play with some more. I mean,
It was fun, definitely.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how simple but not it is, and that to repeat it doesn't take too long to start the next round.
Yeah.
As well.
it was easy to get addicted to this one, right? I mean, it really
Yeah.
played so quickly.
Yeah,
and
this
it-
would have been a very solid like mobile game as well.
Yeah.
If that was even an option.
I would
I
say I would like a little tightening a tiny bit of tightening in terms of like your aim on your throwing. I don't know if anybody else felt that. I felt like it was a little bit sometimes challenging to like exactly pinpoint, like if you're doing it really quickly to be really precise. It's a little difficult because it's essentially running on like an invisible grid, so it's obviously trying to like measure where you are spatially in order to do that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, super happy with it. Tony, what were you gonna say, my friend?
No. So one of the things I really like about this is that in the gameplay, there's no right or wrong answer, right?
Yes.
You can end the level with a completely different raft that I had. I think at one point, the reason why I got so far is that I actually ended up just being on one block. Like I finished the level just being on one single block because everything else got screwed up. But yeah, definitely love the infinite possibilities of how to advance in this game and how to beat it.
Yeah. I love what you said there. That creativity and like that freedom is.
Yeah.
There's something about like being able to build stuff on your own, isn't it? Like it feels something about that I absolutely love. I wish I would have seen your one block journey. Every time I got down to one block, it seemed like there was a rock or a mer person just waiting for me, waiting right there to kill me.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have fallen in the water and you know that it doesn't like 100 to 0 you, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't just kill you in one hit, like if you're at full health.
But it's pretty quick,
you
though,
could
right?
theoretically, if you see another, I don't know if I ever pulled it off, but if you were on one rock and you knew you were doomed, you could jump in the water and try to, or one rock, one block. You could jump in the water and try to make it to another random block and make that your own. Like,
yeah, I think that actually works.
You can clutch it at the last second. Yeah, it's pretty neat, the possibilities.
Because I definitely did that in order to get blocks that were like a jump space away. Like sometimes if I couldn't reach them quick enough, I would jump onto them, and it would put them on me, and I think I would fall in the I forgot how it worked.
Or it starts moving forward. Maybe now that you're standing on it, it's claimed, so it starts moving forward.
Yeah, I think if you were standing close enough to it, it like claims it. If your hands were empty as well.
Yeah.
So there's some cool strategic possibilities there. But yeah, I love that kind of lifeline. Although it seemed like every time I jumped in the water, the death came pretty quickly after that.
Yeah.
So maybe they can play around with like how long you have to live in there. Oh, it's a tricky balance though, right? Because you
there
want
definitely was not any like iframes after taking damage. I think the mer person, if you're on one block and they're shooting 3 of them at you, all 3 of them are going to hit you.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, there were definitely some times they got me.
Jumanji music too.
Say that again?
I really enjoyed the Jumanji music.
Yeah. No, it was very cool. It was very cool. In fact, I actually loved the music for all of the 4 games we played this week. I thought they all had a really like appropriate sound to them. So it sounds like we're all really pleased with this one here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Surprising amount of polish for a 48-hour game.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's a big point right there.
I want to say that it actually, I believe it finished 3rd place in that game jam, if I'm not mistaken.
I was looking at the page and it was 3rd place for overall. Yes,
which is quite impressive because my understanding of the GMTK jam is like the number of entries for this is like starting to become astronomical. This page is
5,371 entries.
There you go. So out of
okay.
Over 5,000, almost 5,500, we got the 3rd place game here. I honestly found this, I think, just by looking. I've been lately looking for games. I think I've talked to you guys about this. Like, I'm hoping to build some indie game cabinets soon. And I've been looking for games that kind of could potentially go into one of those and kind of stumbled upon this one. So 3 out of the 4 games that we're playing this week kind of fit that bill. I can imagine this one's, I think, short enough to where you could play it, in an arcade sort of situation and see how far you can run and then pass it off to your friend, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's 2 buttons, so not too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Awesome. So it sounds like thumbs up all around for this one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that was Pink River. We should give a shout out to those involved. For the code and art, it was Kebabscow, Twitter name there. And the sound and music was Tommy Blixt and Alfred Rom. That's the credits there. So shout out to those folks. Keep doing what you're doing. Can't wait to see if you continue this or wherever else it takes you.
And it does. I get the impression on the page as well that some of the additional, because it says the additional game design by the Twitch chat, so he must have done the development on stream.
I was right about to ask you. That's where I paused real quick when I read that. I couldn't comprehend it quite there. So yeah. That's really cool. That is really cool. If that's the case. That's really awesome. Sweet, folks. Well, that was Pink River. That's our first of 4 games that we are going to be looking at. I got a couple things in the chat right here. Brolkowski also says that would be a good cabinet game. Vimy is saying that's one of those games where it sounds like such a simple concept and then you realize there isn't another game like it. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. I think games like this excite me because I just feel like it shows how much untapped potential there is. And this is the importance of game jams. The theme of this game jam, we should say, was out of control, and I think this really nailed that and shows that there's so much untapped potential, right? So that's really exciting stuff. So let's move on to our second game here. Our second game that we will be discussing is ElecHead, which I'm assuming is a shortened for like Electric Head, which is the theme here to this game. So to give you guys a little bit of a description here, it is a short-circuiting robot who came from somewhere, Elec. Going after a objective inside an abandoned factory, Elec can cause a current by touching a wall and move objects, turning on monitors, moving the floor, or even activating a discharge device. By going deeper into the factory, you will be able to throw your head. If you can't reach places, throw your head to activate gimmicks. Don't leave your head away for too long or you'll explode. And this, we should say, the game design is from Nama Takahashi with the sound from Tsuyomi. I hope I'm pronouncing all that stuff correctly. I actually played this one several months back, and I don't know why I didn't put it on Indie Game Club earlier, because I fell in love with it when I played it then and was super excited to throw it in here. Yeah. What did you guys think about this one?
This is my favorite one.
Yeah?
I had so much fun playing this game. Yeah. Like, it was like every time I got to something new, or like I found a secret chip, or whatever, it was super, like, I like fangirled over it, I swear, the whole time. And like when I found I could throw my head, I was like, I can throw my head.
That was a cool moment, right?
Dude,
yes,
I never read that in the description, and I feel like maybe it was just my experience. I don't know how polished the game is, but like the music gets quieter or cuts out, and then the first time you throw your head, the music comes back up. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
I was cheesing. I was like, this is really cute and funny. Like,
that was really cool.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's a prototype right now with a planned full release.
That's right.
Probably 2021 at this point.
Perfect.
Which you could see so much cool stuff from this, right? Mm-hmm. They already took this demo or prototype, if you will, showed a lot of promise. It showed a lot of clever design mechanics and that we haven't necessarily seen. You know, we've seen a lot of puzzle platformers really touch on a lot of different things, and so some of this stuff has been touched on in some ways, but I think the overall package is really polished.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's a platformer puzzle game. The cool thing is that the puzzles aren't extremely complex. Like, if you stay, there's no time limit, so you can sit there and stay in a particular area until you get it, and it's not too punishing if you don't necessarily get the puzzle. But definitely enjoyed the puzzles, enjoyed the platforming. Very cute idea of throwing your head to essentially navigate a lot of the puzzles.
Yeah. And we should say that, you know, as you're watching this video, you're seeing a playthrough here. There's not a formal trailer, but there's, as Layla was saying, there's a lot of collectibles. I wasn't able to get all 5. I got 4 out of the 5. Was anybody able to get all 5 collectibles?
I had 0.
They were kind of hidden. 5, but only because when you get to a certain point, there's like a door, like a key,
and you can't go back.
That blocks you from going back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, how about you, Layla? Were you did you get all 5?
I don't know exactly how many I got, but I know I got pretty far in it. I had to stop playing so that I could play the other games because I was so like wrapped into this this one.
Yeah.
But like I said, this one's my favorite one. I don't like puzzle games I'm not good at puzzle games, so I really enjoyed this one, and it like you said, it's not hard enough. It's not too hard, but it's enough to like get where you can figure it out in a small amount of time. So I think that's what I liked the most about it, and it's just like every little thing that was happening as you advance through was cute to me, and I loved it a lot. So.
For sure,
it definitely gave you enough time with each mechanic to like get used to before introducing another one.
Yeah,
yes.
Literally about to say that. That's a great point. I think it was really proper game design. And to that point you were talking about, Jordan, where you first get the head and the music kind of hits you harder there. Like, my immediate instinct was like when you're kind of going down these steps to that area, and it already like prompts you with something about throwing your head, and it's like press X, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And then you get the head, and then it all kind of builds up from there. We should also say that this game also, I think Vimy, you were asking earlier, or you were complimenting Pink River's palette. This also has a 3-4 color palette as well, and you can actually change the different colors. So I actually liked playing around. Did any of you guys experiment with that, like trying out some different color palettes on here?
Yes.
Just from the
I just played
menu.
with the standard.
I didn't actually play with new colors, but I poked around in the menu.
Yeah, there was a ton of customization in the game options.
Really?
Including so I really enjoyed that.
I
was
like
afraid to mess around in the menu because I didn't want to mess something up. Because
the
menu was like, we're not going to have any words. We're just going to have this be intuitive symbols.
Yes,
and
and I
so
was like,
after I finished it, and I only got 2 of the secret things, by the way. After I finished it, I was like, you can change the color? Like, I don't really feel like replaying the game, and I got to finish these other games. But if they release a full version, I'll totally try different colors. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. And I'm glad you and Layla mentioned the menu, because I will say that's like the one area where I think, like, I know they're kind of going for, and I assume since this is based on the name, Japanese developer, that maybe going for a more universal kind of approach where symbols are, rather than hitting you with too much text, it's more symbol focused. I think the issue with that, unfortunately, is that you might not actually know what you're doing in the menu. For instance, it probably didn't happen to anybody else. This may just be me, but instead of like going to like the quit game option, I went to the accidentally delete your save file option and did that.
no.
So that happened there, but that's how it works. Vimy is asking, is that a move timer that pops up whenever you move? And Layla, respond to that. Layla, do you want to talk about that so people can understand like what that move timer is about?
Yes. Okay, so if you throw your head, you have 10 seconds to get back to your head, or you're gonna explode. And I learned that obviously I learned that because it happened.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw my head over there, and I'm like, there's a timer. What's that for? I'm like, tried to jump on my head, and I blew up. Like, oh man.
Yeah, there was that one puzzle. I'm sure you guys, or that one room. I'm sure you guys are aware.
Tight timing. Yeah.
Yes, where it's like you got to run all the way around and throw your head perfectly.
That puzzle made me want more. I'm like,
yes.
I like puzzle games. Platformers, I'm not always like, it depends. But I played Celeste and loved Celeste. I actually love Celeste kind of for the story and the dialogue mostly. But I do like how it was challenging, and every new level, it was either a slightly different mechanic or the same mechanics, but just a different kind of puzzle. I feel like this game has a lot of potential for the same type of feeling. Because that one was the tight timing. I don't know about you guys, but every time I had like 1 second it exploded, and I was like...
Yeah.
For sure. So what do you guys think in a longer, or I guess more full version of this game? What would you be looking for? Do you think that it should stick to like the primary, not only the electric mechanic but the head mechanic, or would you guys think that you could actually expand on that, or what are you guys desiring and looking for in a follow up?
If I were the developer, which I'm not Japanese, I would add one more mechanic, and it would basically be, because you're dealing with things like the electricity, that kind of flipping to the wall, like VVV.
Yes. Great game.
I think that'd be the only one I would add to that, to add just a little bit more challenge, because you got the inverted controls. Past that, as long as they're keeping that solid like level design, I think the game's golden the way it is.
You get. I need to have like that little deck. What do you call those those Twitch decks or whatever?
Stream Deck.
Stream Decks. God,
Stream Deck.
Oh man, I need to have one of those. That was a long way of me saying that I need to have one of those to like throw points or something cool your way. Because anytime somebody says VVV, I always got to give a shout out. If you guys haven't played that at home, that is a fantastic game made by Terry Kavanaugh, who, if you've been watching our show, we featured Super Hexagon a couple months back. that's definitely a good one to check out for sure. What about everybody else? Are there any other additional mechanics, or do you, I guess, just want more of this fleshed out, the current puzzle design like fleshed out further, or maybe do you want to be able to return back to areas Metroidvania style? What are you guys looking for?
I like the way it was. I just wanted more level, more, I guess, more content, more levels. Not necessarily more content in the levels, but just for it to go a little longer. I didn't realize that it was maybe not a full game just yet. But like I said, the platforming, the puzzling, they were not extremely harsh or punishing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're fun and clever. There's a lot of trial and error, and they actually supported a lot of trial and error, because there's no like how many times you died count or anything.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game overall.
Yeah, and it had a good checkpoint system, I would say.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about, just from a design standpoint, the idea of checkpoints that you actually have to stand on to activate versus like auto-activated when you move into a room?
I think it's a good way to add like a user-created challenge by just skipping them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I like having that option.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, deathless run.
And it makes
Yeah,
it makes it
trying to do
real.
the whole thing.
It makes it real when you stand on top of it. The idea is that like you don't forget that you just passed the checkpoint.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, we got a couple comments here. I'm going to read Vimy again saying that this is back about the timer, saying, I just like that the timer follows your character as opposed to being a permanent UI element somewhere, not having the ever-present UI elements on the top and bottom and making them contextual is such a minor detail, but adds a lot to the game polish. I couldn't agree more. I totally think so. In fact, as you see here, it's a very clean, I think to use your words, what are you guys saying, simple and clean, like earlier? That it's a really easy, simple, beautiful presentation to it. How would you guys feel? I have a friend actually that's designed a game somewhat similar. It comes to mind because it's also features a robot and it's a puzzle platformer. And you actually, Jordan, you might have actually played it. He featured the game at MagFest before, but he actually has bosses in his game. And so I was curious what you guys thought about the idea of a game like this having bosses. It's a little bit unorthodox for puzzle platformers to have some sort of like competitive or I don't know if competitive is the right word.
I would say it depends on the kind of bosses. I mean, you could definitely do puzzle platformers with bosses, right? And I hate giving this developer credit, but Jonathan Blow with Braid, they had bosses in that, and it was all puzzle based the way you actually defeated the bosses.
Yeah.
So
can I ask why you don't want to give Mr. Blow credit? Is it issues with his personality or what is it there?
Let's just say a site I used to write for is featured in a scene in a indie game, the movie, with him crying about people being mean about him.
Really? You were part of? Wow. There's a lot of cool references there for the folks at home. Jonathan Blow, of course, creator of Braid and The Witness. Indie Game the Movie, an awesome movie. I actually went to the premiere of it. They did a 5 city premiere, and I went and I got to hang out with the directors in Asheville. They did a premiere. So if you haven't checked out Indie Game the Movie, definitely check that out for sure. George, we'll have to talk more about that. Like I guess off the scenes.
I didn't write the article that caused it, but let's just say they called him an opinionated ass.
He's got a unique personality. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Anybody else have thoughts on like of that element to it? I can definitely see kind of Braid elements here as well, and definitely with the boss side of things.
You know what this robot reminds me of? I just couldn't put my finger on it. Chippy Robo from
Nintendo's Chibi Robo. Yeah,
Chippy Robo. It just sort of the gameplay not as definitely not the same, but it's a platformer. This had more puzzles in it, but it just reminded me of Chippy Robo for some reason.
Yeah, I think the cutesy kind of robotic look for sure. Also, shout out to Fangirl Review. I appreciate you jumping in, watching the stream here and saying, I know you're a big puzzle fan. I remember when you were on the show. We'll have to have you on again soon. I think this would be right up your alley for sure. I don't really have many complaints. As Layla was saying, this one hit me immediately, and that's why I was so excited to feature it, or I guess feature it even after having played it months ago. I loved every moment of this, and I think the only issue I really have is that there's not enough. Like, I want more now. I want more now. I
Right.
guess is the issue
Yeah,
I
I
have.
love how simple it was and how close the checkpoints were as well. It was enough to like not make me super ragey. Like
Yeah.
where you have to start all the way back and like get back to where you were,
Yeah.
like the same area that you were in, to get to the next point. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love how, like you said, simple it is, and cute it is. So
Yeah.
like I said,
The
For
frequency of checkpoints, I think that's what gave me the Celeste feel, and I
Yes.
definitely did rage for Celeste. So maybe I
Yo,
shouldn't make
that's-
too strong a comparison.
That could
But
be a
yeah,
rage
like,
game for sure.
Celeste is like you're in a room, that's the checkpoint. So
Mhm.
it was at least you're not redoing a whole level. So I agree. I like that.
the doppelganger one was what got me on Celeste.
Oh yeah, wasn't that awesome? Yeah, I remember that part well for sure. Yeah, I agree completely with what you guys said. I think the only exception to that is what Derivative said earlier, that at like the end of the game, there's a point where you can't go back, like because there was like a door or something. I forgot. Maybe is it this part right here? I can't remember what part it was, but that would be the only thing I would say for the full version is for the designer to carry that ability, like almost like casualness of being able to like not be stressed out about the puzzles in the sense that you are able to go back to areas to collect. Celeste had that as well, right? Where after you cleared areas, you could go back to them and get the strawberries and things like that, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
certainly.
Cool. That's what I would say right here. Fangirl review saying need more horror. I want jump scares for this game right here.
What was the name of that one? I just was responding back to Gnarled Hag.
Gnarled Hag was the one.
That was a good one.
Yes.
That was definitely a good one.
Is that a puzzle platformer with jump scares?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. Jordan, I think you would like that one. You should check that one out. That's it's more, I don't know how to describe, cinematic platformer as well, kind of elements to it, if that's a fair additional element to it. Definitely worth checking out for sure, though. Any other thoughts about ElecHead before we move on, or?
Nah, I really enjoy. I wish it was longer. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that it wasn't a full
Yeah.
game.
Doesn't have to be a whole lot longer. Like even an hour, I think, would be great for it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Move it from 20 minutes to like an hour and a half. I agree.
Yeah.
I like everything that Derivative said. I love bosses but it would fit the game better if it was like a puzzle way to defeat the boss, not like a here's a health bar, chip away at it.
Yeah.
And to add on what he said, you could add powers or like more mechanics to the character, or you could add more twists and mechanics to the levels themselves that you have to reuse your same mechanics to get through.
Yeah.
Either would be fine. I just want more. It was fun. It was cute and fun. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to break it down there, Jordan. I think I'd be happy with either one of those, and I think it kind of, I guess, depends on the developer's philosophy, right? If they wanted to keep it simple with the core controls and then add mechanics to the levels themselves, or elements, I should say, to the levels themselves. But I wouldn't mind a couple additional, maybe one or two additional kind of robotic powers that you had access to, even if they were like temporary. I know some games do that as well, where you have like a certain power for like a certain set of rooms or kind of a world sort of thing. Shout out to Hewalk in the chat for hello Hewalk, thanks for joining us right here, appreciate it. So that, folks, was ElecHead from, again, the developers. The game design is from Nama Takahashi, and the sound is from Xiaomi. Again, apologies. As one person with a very complicated name to another, I guess relatively speaking, I hope I didn't butcher your name there. But shout out to that game. I think we're all really happy with that one as well. It sounds like super excited to follow that one. Cool. Well, let's move over to our next game. This is one that we've been, I think, we've been joking about the theme of this one for a while. So it's cool to finally be able to pull this out and talk about it. But this is Smash and Dab. This
Damn.
is Smash. Damn.
Damn. It's so well derivative.
Yeah.
Derivative,
So, like,
I'm convinced you are actually the person that officially does it in the game. That is.
Or he has a soundboard, and he's just hitting the button on the soundboard.
He's like perfectly moving his lips in line.
Yeah,
I was not
yeah.
expecting it. You caught me.
For those
So perfect.
for those who have no idea what we're talking about here, this is let's get to that. Let me read the description for Smash and Dab here, and then we can let's talk about those sound effects for sure. So Smash and Dab, this is from developer Will Herring. Shout out to Will Herring, who actually joined us for the chat when we discussed one of his previous games, Pet the Pup at the Party, which we really enjoyed for our special Cats versus Dogs episode of Indie Game Club. So Will Herring, great work. Looking forward to talking about this one. Let me read you guys the description. This is Smash and Dab. This is the description. Dad's gotta impress a squad of rowdy teens with his sick dance moves, and Dab's so lit. You'll have to wear shades, B. This is like, is this not... You guys were saying this before we started the stream, but is this not like totally...
You? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You gotta get your grill in, and you gotta get your shades on.
All right, where's my grill?
You would be the dabbing dad.
And
For real.
the-
Where's my...
Listen,
My kids are far too
if
young
you-
to embarrass them with that.
If you want me to put a mask on and come to your place and start throwing furniture and stuff at you, I will absolutely do
Let's
it.
do
Turn on the
that.
camera. We'll see if you can dab and break the furniture or break yourself to it. I would absolutely
Oh my
record that.
Let's do that. All right, we're getting the grill on right here. Hopefully I'm not... It kind of hurts. It kind of hurts, I'm not going to lie. Put this on. All right, we're in full effect right here. Let me wipe these glasses right here.
This is basically you, yeah.
This
when
is
you're
me.
mad, when you're getting a bunch of hits in a row, this is you.
This is me right here.
Oh
This
my
game
God.
apparently was inspired by Indie Game Club and yours truly here. The gameplay, we should say, it says dab into and destroy. It's funny how different I sound, right? Talking suddenly, I got this like lisp going on. Dab into and destroy as many items thrown your way as possible to impress a rowdy crew of cool teens. Now that part's not based on me. I don't like... I was a high school teacher, but for the most part, young people...
I mean, you'd impress your kids, though. I mean, they're not teens yet, but, you know.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Cool dad.
Yeah.
Just don't dab on the cat, which we've been saying this today a lot. I learned the hard way. I
Yeah.
definitely dabbed on so many cats and
I
couldn't
definitely
understand
did.
why I was losing the game. So let's discuss this. Tony, you want to start off? You want to talk about your dabbing here and what your goal of the game
Yeah,
is?
so definitely playing the game. I definitely took it as you want to dab to dodge the items flying at you. But it's
Okay.
actually the opposite.
Yeah.
We read the instructions. You're supposed to dab to break the items that are dabbing at that are being thrown at you. And of course, the more you dab, the more you break things. The more kids behind you are sitting there rooting you on, like, yeah, let's go dab and dab. One of the biggest things is that it's just a hilariously and very charming game because he does the swaying two-step when he dabs. Dab. And it's just a very funny looking motion, and his dabbing is just very funny to look at. One
Yeah.
thing I would tell people, if you want to get very far in the game, I think I did decently well. You want to make sure you concentrate on the items that are being believe it or not, you want to concentrate on the items that are being thrown at you and not the dabbing dad in the scene. That's like a life lesson right there. But
For sure.
but yeah, and it's funny too because you mentioned like don't dab on a cat, which honestly I don't really understand. Like, why not? I'm allergic to cats and dogs, but again, like I said in a previous episode, I'm an ally. Although last episode I was talking about skipping and kicking dogs or something like that.
Oh God, no.
But what I said, I don't understand why you can't dab on a cat. So maybe you guys might have better insight into that.
Maybe this has something to do with maybe we need to reach out to the developer and ask his thoughts on Team Dog versus Cat because that's two games that he's developed that actually both feature a cat and a dog in them. So I'd love to hear his thoughts on it. I agree. More cat dabbing is is called for in life. I think we should be
I
doing
don't know.
that.
I'm thinking it's one of those like punch man situations where his head is so strong from the dabbing that he's afraid he would destroy the cat by doing so.
Yeah, I mean, come on, y'all. It's a living creature. You don't need to slam your nice moves into
That's
the
true.
creature.
I feel like the cat would claw your face. So imagine, like, if a cat is hurled towards your face,
Yeah.
I feel like the cat would grab onto your face and maul your face before you hurt the cat.
I think you're right about that. All right, I gotta ask everybody, since not everybody was here for our cats versus dog episode, what side, if you had to choose, if you had to dab into one in order to protect the other?
I'm an ally to both.
Oh, Tony, don't give me one of those responses. I need to know. I'm totally team dog. Dab into those cats all day, for sure, for sure. Derision, you with me?
Absolutely.
Love it, love it.
I love the puppers.
I grew up with
I know
dogs.
if you accidentally dab into a dog, it would eventually forgive you. Cats hold
Exactly.
grudges.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like they come into the relationship with a grudge, like to begin with.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
just
you
looking
have
for
to
a reason.
earn their trust. You have to earn their trust. I've learned to like cats as an adult. I've got lots of friends with cats, but I've never had one myself. I grew up a dog person, so I have to lean team dog, I guess.
I think we got a full squad of
Yeah.
dog outside of Tony, who's on the fence here.
Yeah.
I feel like if you threw a dog at someone, you would just naturally catch the dog, and the dog would be so happy. And
Yeah.
if you threw a cat at someone, it would kill you.
Yeah.
You can't alter the deal. You can't alter the rules. We're talking about dabbing into it, not catching
You
it.
gotta
okay?
dab into. I read some article somewhere that if cats were actually like any like significantly sized larger, that they would actually like pose a threat to us in terms of. I mean, I guess we have tigers and lions, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking
Yeah.
about. But like domesticated cats themselves, that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, folks. I don't know where I read this, but I swear it was something relevant, something scientific that said that they could hurt you. Let us know in the chat if you are down for team dogs and team cats.
Yeah,
Fangirl review, thanks for the bits.
One thing about the
Appreciate
gameplay, and you guys let me know if I my misinterpretation of this or not. So if you miss 3 items in a row, then you lose the game. It's not necessarily 3. It has to be 3 consecutive items.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
I think you're right.
That's what I got too.
I think you're right because you got like your health back, didn't you? Wasn't there, or like you know, like the amount of times you could get hit, right?
Well,
Yeah, it reset. Yeah, it reset because it had
okay.
to be in a row.
Yeah, because it's a 3X's right there.
Yeah. I actually had to like say, okay, I'm done playing this. I'm gonna let the 3 happen
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because it was just too forgiving. I guess is the way to go with that.
yeah.
you want more
Did anyone-
hardcore experience.
Real quick, did anyone? I think when I looked it up, it was like an in-browser one. Did anyone get like lag? Like you'd hear the sound of something being projected, but you couldn't see
No.
it for a second or two?
I didn't have that.
That
I-
happened to me twice.
I think
Wow.
I might have had it. I actually. So it's interesting when you said that. Is if for folks who want to play this game, and I can actually drop the link in the chat. As Jordan, as you said there, if you go to the itch page, it's only available from to like stream or sorry to play in the
browser
browser.
run.
But if you have the itch application, you can actually download it there. So I actually got.
But it's still the web one though. Like it's not it's not a special one.
Was it? I swear.
No,
Yeah,
no,
they have basically the Chrome browser in their.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Oh,
Okay,
embedded.
gotcha. Thanks for
Okay.
thanks for letting us know on that one. Once again, shout out to Fangirl Review. Thanks so much for those bits. Really appreciate you so much. Everybody who's watching right now, definitely check out Fangirl Review in the Twitch chat. She runs an awesome channel. Also part of the amazing folks over at the Athena Alliance. We love them so much. Definitely check them out. Vimy is saying hashtag Team Cat. Oh, Vimy. Disappointed, my friend. No, I'm kidding. I hear you. I hear you. Team
All
Cat.
right, the people who have cats, you want to put that in the chat? Like, would you feel it offensive if you dabbed on one? Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I want to know. Let's get back on topic. That's what I want to know. If you dabbed on your cat, whether you're a cat dog person, if you dabbed on your cat.
Yeah, we need to know the answer to this. This is the most pressing issue right now. Let us know.
We don't dab on cats. Like, I don't know. Like,
Johnny on Twitch is saying my misfits are pretty cool to hang with. Just saying, oh yeah, I know he's Team Cat. I hear you, Johnny. Yeah, I feel you. We're not dissing too much. We quickly see our ratings and our numbers completely collapse
Yeah,
with this unnecessary cat versus dog war.
I'm just Oh my.
Uh-oh.
I will say that I've very recently have been wanting to get a Maine Coon. Like that's my goal is to get.
What's
I
that?
do want
Get a raccoon. Get a
a
raccoon.
Maine Coon.
A
Oh,
man
A
coon?
huge. These huge.
A Maine
cats.
Coon, yeah.
Yes, a Maine Coon. They're these huge cats. Like they're dog, like a small dog size cat.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like they have this long hair.
Oh my god, they're
really-
huge.
They're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. So if I did get a cat, that's the cat that I would get, and I've been looking into getting.
All right, I'm gonna.
Now, is that quite the size of where it could probably, like a lynx or something, where it could probably
Yes.
kill you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would want a cat
yeah,
that could
that's
kill
So
them. That would be cool.
majestic. They look like the most majestic cats I've ever seen, and that's how I know I've made it in life when I have one of those. They're so beautiful. I would get one of those if I were to get a cat.
That is a wild looking cat. I'm looking at it right here. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know that about this dang old species here.
I've seen memes about them. They're huge. They're cute, and their hair is like really fluffy. They almost look like
Yes.
wise. They're really cool.
Yes. Like you would expect like a wizard to have one of those things. So freaking majestic.
Are you
Yeah,
saying you
it
want
is
to be a
true.
wizard?
It is
Saying
true.
we've made it. You want to be a wizard?
Yeah.
Wizard
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, it's a wild looking Maine Coons. Jeez. Are they from Maine? Or does that have anything to do
I
with it?
I think when I was looking at the history of them, because I was looking into getting a bred one. They think that it says something about them being in that area, but I think they come from like a Russian bloodline like
Mm.
that. You have to look more into it. But I was looking into like how to take care of them and where they come from and whatnot. They said Vikings actually they got their names because they thought that it was a bred animal from Vikings thought they were bred from raccoons and cats, like a hybrid.
Really?
Yes.
That would be an interesting relationship. I wonder how. Wonder how that
The
happens.
Pixar movie. Pixar movie. If we read between the lines.
Yeah, a little Zootopia interspecies edition. Oh god, I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, this is the type of content you get on Indie Game Club. This is what you come to us for. This is the sophisticated talk that we have. Let me read a couple of these chat things to get us on track here. Vimy saying, I have 2 cats and my wife used to work at a no-kill cat shelter with a whole room of kittens. The kittens would be fine with dabbing. They are so cuddly. Aww, kitten. Dabbing on
That's
kittens.
precious.
Little cute kittens.
They're so light. They probably just stick on your shoulder the moment you dab.
Yeah, I think a kitten. They haven't got the killer instinct yet. I don't think. They're not ready for murder and have the taste of blood out ready yet. Reporting from 20XX on Twitch saying, LOL, but would I dab on my cats? They're that new generation. Sure, they wouldn't dab on me instead. Ooh, that is a
Oh,
That's a cool image.
Interesting.
Mike
Wow.
being thrown into a cat, and the
Wait,
cat
are you,
just like,
are you telling me there's
Bye.
more cats?
hipster cats. What are you saying, Richard?
Just cats on TikTok and
Oh man, gosh, I feel like anytime I go on, you put all these effort into putting a show like this together, and then you go online and you see that like a cat has more social media followers and likes than you'll ever get in your life, and you're just like, oh, what am I doing here? What is society doing?
burn.
That's just life, folks. Anyway, so back to Smash and Dab. Yeah, we talked a lot about the dabbing. You guys want to talk a little bit more about how the dad
smashing?
transforms over? Yeah.
that's what I wanted to talk about.
Let's discuss it.
What Mike said.
Yes, discuss smashing. Thank you. Oh man, that was just perfect delivery.
Are there any cat characters in Super Smash Bros?
Are there? Oh, what is that one Pokemon? That big old red Pokemon.
Lucario,
No, well, yeah, Lucario's kind of like
kind of. He's
Yeah.
probably like a fox.
fox raccoon.
More
fox.
than a cat. Yeah.
What's
that
the
too.
red Incineroar, right?
Incineroar. That's
Oh
what.
yeah,
It's kind of-
that's right.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, he's like a lion something. Yeah, sure.
Beastish.
WWE.
There's something
So now
there.
that we segued away from smashing. No, I was gonna ask.
So when you take a raccoon and a cat and put it, no. All right, let's keep
Amazing.
going.
We lost video audio on Mike. I don't think we're gonna get him back for the rest of the night. Let's just continue.
All right. What is the show again? What are we doing here? So when you are dabbing as a dad, as you naturally do, and trying to impress teenagers as one does in a garage, which raises a lot of weird questions actually about what this dad's doing. Hopefully, one of these are his children, but maybe not. Anyway, once you start dabbing, you see your like dab meter builds up. You have like you almost get like a little Supreme kind of little beanie.
You can get
Yeah, as you start getting combos, you get more. I don't even want to use the word because I'm in my 30s.
swag. You get more
You
swag.
get more swag and lit. And,
You get more lit.
I don't even sound. I sound dirty saying those words.
Oh my god! The moment I saw the chain that said "Dad," I was like, "This is Mike. Mike in the game, dude." Dad chain. Yeah. No, I love the swag that you get as you're like building up. Even like the Kanye glasses. It's all super silly. I love it. Charming. Someone said it's charming.
Oh my god, I think I actually have some of those glasses. Those
I can see him doing that
shades
too.
here.
That's
Dude.
swag.
Oh yeah.
So shout out to the city of Charlotte right here who gave this gift bag away at this one event recently, and they included these glasses as part of it.
Oh yeah.
I might take it. I'm gonna fully turn it up. It's about to get super lit, fam. I'm about to pull.
You
these
start
on.
dabbing.
I'm about to start dabbing. Like we're gonna take this. I mean, I can't. I feel like I cannot not dab. I feel like Layla's the one who needs to dab. Layla's the biggest
Anyone
dabbing
in the chat,
fan.
Start throwing bits.
There we go. You
gonna
see
smash
Layla?
his head.
Layla's
Wait,
gonna be.
wait.
My chat literally has me dab all the time. Look, I have my own emotes. I've literally been spamming them the whole time. We've been talking about this game.
I see it.
She is totally.
I swear.
What do you say in the
I see
industry?
now?
Oh god, my
Oh
head's
my
too big.
god, Mike.
These.
My chat, they literally one time they had me dab and drink water at the same time because
we
they
gotta
used to
see it.
spam. They just used to spam my dab redemption and my hydrate redemption. So I like one time they did 9 of each. I was like, okay, if I do it at the same time, can we call it even? And they were like, bet. And I was like, I did not want to do this, but it was really funny actually. It was hilarious.
Were you able to keep the water in, or were you just like?
I
shooting it?
literally almost spilt it on myself the first time, and I just remember laughing hysterically.
We can do that. We need to get that challenge going up here. Let us know, folks, if that's the type of preview content you want from the wonderful folks at Indie Game Club. I'm not gonna lie, my eyes are really hurting right now. Immediately.
I mean,
I
so were all of ours and the viewers. So.
Oh, Jordan with the burn. Hardcore. Do you know what my response to that
I just
is?
got roasted.
Turn them off.
Yo,
Aww.
Getting bullied on Indie Game Club.
Mike, come on.
that was definitely Ready Player 2 over there.
Yeah, these are a little too hardcore, but I am gonna go back to this stuff
Keep
right
on,
here.
but keep the light off.
Yeah, I can do that. I think it's just
That's a
little
good.
too
That's
much.
a good compromise. I like that.
Yeah, these are a
Oh,
little.
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
If you start putting more, if you get like the top hat or the beanie or the dab chain, we're literally gonna have to. I'm gonna have to drive to your place right now or call your family or something. They're gonna just throw stuff at you.
You know
Like,
what?
You cannot cosplay as this character.
So, here's
and
what's
not
wild.
have stuff thrown at you.
You want to see? I actually have some necklaces right here that I think. I don't actually have the.
What did we say? What did me and Tony say?
No, you're totally right. Listen, this is the type of style stuff I wear. Like, I don't have the chain on it, but you can see right here. I actually made this myself, and I wore this on a chain right here. So you can imagine,
Oh, that's awesome.
like that right there.
Yeah, that's definitely the dab.
Total dab dad. Look at me. Like,
Oh, wow.
the ladies are the ladies online are going crazy right now. I'm sure they're like,
Oh, yeah.
this guy is simply irresistible as he shows off his Dr. Mario, all these other chains. I'm actually impressed with myself. If you like these, you know, Yeah, I'll stop there.
Drop a bit in the chat if you like these.
Yeah, if you like this stuff, please, for my self-esteem, say something. I can't deal with the silence any longer.
You put your social digits in the chat.
Exactly. Drop those social digits in the chat. You know what's going to be funny in the future when somebody looks up this video and looks this up for like a review of Smash and Dab? The year is 2035. Some kid is like, what is this Smash and Dab? Let me watch Indie Game Club and watch this review. We've covered Maine Coons. We've covered the possibility of interspecies sexual encounters. We've covered dabbing dads. We haven't covered the game yet, so let's cover the game a little bit more. Although I think we've kind of talked a lot about it. Derivative, get us on track. Bring that level of professionalism back to us.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it to you. I have no idea. Take it away.
It's another one of those score attack style games where it's just get as many points as you can. Try to grab combos. I don't know if combos increase a multiplier. I didn't notice that. Or if it was just to let you know what the combo was.
I think, yeah, it wasn't clear. It was like X9, X10, X11, but I didn't know if that was a multiplier or 11 in a row. But you're right.
What do you mean exactly by combos, though? Like, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it was just a multiplier there. Is there like another way to increase your score other than just hitting them in order?
No, it was just hitting without missing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just increased it. So it's Guitar Hero style.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. And you can go from dad to rad. I don't know how much. There was a couple other spots. I think I got like you, Derivative, where at some point it felt a little too easy, I guess, or just not as challenging as it could be at the higher levels. The speed was fast. Yeah. I love the dad sway. I know you guys were mentioning that. I think that
sort of threw me off, and that's why I would definitely emphasize again is that like make sure you pay attention to the objects that are flying at you, and not the actual dad doing the two-step, because he'll two-step in two different directions, and you're not sure if he's going to hit that object or not. So like I had to really pay attention to the objects that are being thrown, and not him swaying side to side doing a two-step.
Yeah, because technically, as long as you hit it, it doesn't matter where he was spatially at that point, because you'll get it. That's a really good point. And I love the whole NBA Jam "He's on Fire" look right there, where your character literally has flames emanating from them.
Yeah, I reached that only once.
I don't know, that was the thing.
Total lit status right there for sure. Awesome. Well, that is Smash and Dab. Any other things you guys want to say about this before we go to our final game of the night?
No.
Do you think they'll hit me with that, copyright takedown if I basically retake the source code of this game and just Photoshop you on everything? Do you think they'll hit me with it? I think they'll appreciate it.
Look, tell me, folks, how long can you be a dab? To your point, Jordan, this is in line with your point. How long can you be a smashing dab dad? Is there like an age limit to this, or like when I'm 70 and I'm still doing this and wearing this grill and glasses, will it still be cool, or what's the point? What's the cutoff?
That'd be creepy, man.
I don't know. Maybe when it gets to the point of being a granddad, you kind of lose that ability.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, I'd like to point out that he asked, will it still be cool? And I would raise, was it ever cool?
Oh, damn! Jordan, did I do something to you? Did I dab into your cat?
Who hurt you?
My cat. You hurt me, I'm hurting you back. No, I'm just being silly. No, it's cheesy on purpose. It's he's uncool on purpose. He's trying to be cool for the kids. But no, I don't.
And let me remind you, Jordan's comparing this guy to me the whole time. So keep going, Jordan. Keep telling us about this character.
I don't mean to actually be insulting to you.
Of course.
Just fun. It's fun.
It's funny. I love it.
You're a great guy. You're a great father.
I love it.
For me, the biggest distraction in this game, to me, like literally, was the dad who kept doing the swaying two-step.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
A hell of a swaying two-step, and it distracts you from actually dabbing.
Mike, we haven't ever really danced together or anything at MagFest, have we? We always like see each other either playing games or like in the hallway, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the back sometimes, unless I get a little,
Little Liddy.
A little litty, then you'll see me like really getting into it. Otherwise, I'm kind of that like stand in the back, doing that.
Just swaying, just swaying.
like
Well, we got to plan on that
scouting things out.
2021 or whenever it's going to happen. No, it's not happening in 2021.
I know.
2022.
2022. You know what? We need to get a
that
panel
happen.
going. If you guys all want to go, we could probably get like I can hit up some of the folks at MagFest, and maybe we can get like an indie game club panel or something.
Yes.
Something.
I would be honored. I would never make fun of you for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I would lie, but
I appreciate the roasting. It keeps me my ego in check. We should do that for sure. We should do that.
I'd be media famous. That'd be awesome.
It would. I think it would be a lot of fun, and MagFest is definitely the place to get your dance on for sure. If you guys aren't familiar with it, if you're not familiar with it, it's my favorite convention of all. Jordan, would you say the same?
yes, actually, yes.
Yeah. So
I put it up there with Dragon Con, but because MagFest is all in one building and gaming focused, like gaming centric, it takes that edge for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, Layla, Derivative, Tony, get your schedules together for January 2022. Check your calendars. Hopefully, you don't have anything going on at the moment. Booked for...
He didn't say my name. Now it's either because he knows I'm already gonna go, or it's because I gotta make those roasts up to him. Yeah. I'll make it up to you, man. I'll make it up to you. I'm sorry,
everybody. This is Jordan's last appearance on Indie Game. No, of course, no. I love it, man. I love it. If I did this dance at MagFest, do you think it would go over well?
Bro, I'll cosplay this with you,
dude.
I'll make like cardboard dad chains for both of us. That would be so much fun.
How do you get this dance? There's like a special like flow he's kind of got to it.
Yeah, but he's almost like he doesn't do it right. It's almost like his hips. He doesn't have rhythm on purpose. So it's
well, he's not as like thrusting with the hips as I am. He's like more like.
Someone better be clipping this.
Then you gotta bite your bottom lip for maximum effect. That's the only thing he's not doing.
All right, now someone throw a cat at him.
Yeah. Get the cat right there. I was gonna see if I had a stuffed animal. Oh my god, I think I have a cat right here. This is my daughter's cat.
No,
I found my daughter's.
Oh my gosh, no.
Is this Sailor Moon? Luna, right? From Sailor Moon. Should I dab? Oh boy.
I cannot.
I
did not clip it, but I'm about to right now. Hold on.
That was Smash and Dab from Will Herring. It is a cool game. Check it out. Sounds like everybody enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, okay. I hated it.
Derivative. You contrarian, you. Will Herring, yeah, definitely check it out. I dropped that link in the chat there. Let's go over to our final game of the night, which is Sludge Life. Sludge Life right here.
Layla's I bet you the clip's amazing. I need to share it on Facebook.
Sludge Life. Sludge Life, folks, is a game that you can currently find free on Epic Game Store. Although, from my understanding, it won't be free permanently. I think it's like a 1-year free deal, which it came out in May. So definitely try to cop that as quick as you can. Sludge Life, we should say, is from designer Terry Velman. We should also say with music from Dose 1, which was really cool to see. Because Dose 1, if you're a hip-hop fan, one of them true hip-hop fans, you might be familiar with his work. Got some really cool stuff, so really excited about that. We should read the description here. Sludge Life is a first-person / open world / vandalism-centric stroll through a polluted island full of cranky idiots and a vibe so thick you can taste it. Play as upcoming tagger Ghost, set on staking their claim amongst the graffiti elites. All right, folks, let's talk Sludge Life. This was definitely the longest game of the list, we should say. Yeah, does anybody want to venture to explain what Sludge Life is about before we dive into our opinions?
It's kind of a combination of Jet Set Radio and parkour.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jet Set Radio without the cops.
No, there were cops.
They
There
were-
were cops.
They were clops. They were on strike, right?
Oh.
Or no, the clops that were there.
The cops weren't on strike.
The clops weren't on strike. The clops, if you got too close to them, you would get
Get smacked, yeah.
get smacked for sure.
One thing I can say about this game, it's open world. It's a beautiful open world. Definitely with a lot of personality, a lot of NPCs that speak and stuff like that. It doesn't hold your hand. So like when I first played the game, I wasn't exactly sure what I was supposed to do. I thought collecting a bunch of spray cans and tagging different walls was like what you do for the game. And honestly, as you can hear, like I probably didn't get very far, but I'm interested to hear about what the story was and you know, that the full gameplay other than spray painting walls.
It's basically just upping your rep.
Yeah.
Was really there was like little bits, little vignettes. Kind of, you go into different certain areas, and you could tell there's a little bit of a story going on between, just from like the mainly visual storytelling. You could see like, you got the one guy. I don't know if you got over to the gym, and there's the one guy who's like, obviously took too much weights. He's got like his eyes popping out, and he's like,
Purple face. Yeah.
yeah, purple
Yeah.
face.
Oh no!
Did
where's
anyone
his
else try
father?
jumping on him?
I did. Oh, I tried to kill
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No, it didn't. Oh, gamers, we try to kill everybody every opportunity we get.
Was there any missions or any type of like, hey, this is how you win the game?
There was endings. There's multiple endings to the game. So thus far, I should say that, and shout out Vimy saying this is like Jet Set Radio without antidepressants.
Yeah.
That's a really good.
I didn't play with antidepressants, but yeah, I feel you.
That's a really good descriptor there. Yeah, I guess we should say like what you're going into, because you know, watching a trailer like this, you could easily think it's so many different styles of gameplay. But it truly is a game where you are kind of exploring this world that is really effectively like made to come alive. I would say this game like really does an awesome job of making this island, Sludge Life, really like a living place where you start to recognize the different locations. You start seeing the different like people in the world feels lived in. The primary goal, as Derivative was saying, is to kind of build your rep as like a tagger, like a graffiti artist. So there's like 100 locations that you can tag, and when you get near locations, they'll show this little kind of spray can, aerosol can, like icon, floating 3D icon that you can, you know, that's where you need to start. You know what game actually, it definitely reminded me, Jet Set Radio definitely had like parkour elements, a little kind of Mirror's Edge, maybe without the as much of the speed to it. But you know what this game really reminded me of, which I'm not sure if everybody here has played yet, but it actually reminded me a lot of A Short Hike. Have you guys played this one?
Yep.
It sounds familiar.
So this one was the most recent winner. It won Game of the Year on the IGF Indie Game Awards. So I highly recommend it. It's actually part of the Itch Racial Justice and Equity Bundle. I would love to do it for Indie Game Club again. I think the game's like 3 to 4 hours though. But the whole kind of idea to this game is you're kind of just doing this like relaxing kind of journey and collecting things. And Derivative, since you played that one, you'll probably recognize the ending if you once you see it. It's very similar as well. But this game was not, I didn't find to be like really a stressful game. It was just really cool. I got way more into it than I initially thought, and just exploring and tagging and just learning about this world. Jordan, Layla, what was your experience with it?
So I didn't actually get to play much of it because most of the time I was trying to set up with the Epic Games to download it or like to get access to it.
Feel you.
So I had actually had a question though. So you said that you gain rep by tagging. That kind of reminds me of like Saints Row ish. Was it like that kind of deal, or was it like
it was a
an
situation?
artistic
So there were other not the word gang. There were other groups of taggers that were out there.
Yeah.
And by getting a certain number of spots tagged, you then gain respect from them, and they will allow you to team up on a tag.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
actually cool. Okay.
So like you'd hit like I'm gonna say 25, and some new spots would open up, which would be around ones that they did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think I got to right before that. I think I got to like 23. So I need to jump back in.
And you can check when you go back, like the menu system's like a Windows kind of like screen, like your desktop screen, where you have like these little icons that you can go through, and you can actually click the tags icon, and it'll show you out of 100 how many you get. And so, to Derivative's point, like once you get, what is it, like a 20%, I guess, increments, I think.
Something like that, yeah. I thought it was like 25 I think was the first one.
Yeah, 20 or 25, like you get those, like your rep increases, and it opens up like different areas for you. And I usually find myself, like with limited amount of time in life and just adulting and all that, like I find myself not wanting to like go through and collect every damn thing possible. But I couldn't help myself with this one. I'm at 92 right now. I can't find the other 8. Like I'm still looking around for them. But this world is so charming, and it feels so alive, and there's a lot of little cool little cool dialogue or monologue, I guess. You don't really have an opportunity to speak to them, you know what I mean? Yeah, do you guys have thoughts about this world, the world of Sludge Life? How did you guys like that world? And
yeah, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the mechanics were very well done. I mean, everything was basically very hasty, and I'll explain. Like, again, when you were saying like the menu, when it was like a lap, like showing the OS, and you can click in certain areas.
Yeah.
The moment you go out of it, he chucks the laptop.
Yeah.
Same thing with the camera. You pull the camera out, he chucks the camera when he's done with it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, my favorite thing about the game, slightly similar to what you're saying, is something about the vibe and the interactions you have with the environment and the people. It's like every corner I turn, it's like something more absurd, but not like crazy. Not like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's not like going out there and craziness, but it's just like you said, every time you open the menu and exit, he throws a laptop on the ground. So it's like I got infinite laptops, and then like, you know, I'm talking to a guy and he's just like, "Did you see that sea monster sized turd on the toilet? Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there out of respect." And
I love that dialogue.
And then I find a guy who's like, "Yeah, I bet my brother couldn't stop like spin head breakdancing forever," and it's a video game, so he's literally there doing it forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." I tried to jump on him too, actually.
Yeah.
But it's just like, every corner I turn, or every new nook and cranny, it's something like kind of absurd and silly and charming. I was just like, I want to play more of this. I want to see what else they got, you know?
Yeah. I will say, I think, you know, Tony, you and I were messaging each other ahead of time, and I played the previous 3 games I had played before I, you know, finalized the list for this week. This one I hadn't played until today, actually. And so I didn't actually fully know what to expect outside of like, you know, a few things I had read about. I definitely think, Tony, you were like, is there more to this? Is there like puzzles or other stuff? And I think you could easily get confused playing this game, because talking to some of the characters, they make it appear as if they have like a little quest or something for you.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can definitely say is that you might have to look at a YouTube video. I had to look at YouTube videos to see the full gameplay of the actual game. But overall, that didn't take away from the experience. So one thing that I definitely want to emphasize, and not to sound offensive or anything, but for an indie game club, for an indie game, the open world was very elaborate. A lot of personality was given into these characters. A lot of the art design was really great. And actually, I just had a lot of fun just walking around and just exploring the open world and spray painting and collecting spray paints and tagging different walls. I wasn't aware that there was an actual like game or like a story or like a start to finish type of thing to it. But definitely enjoyed the game with that aspect of mind. But definitely I would say it doesn't hold your hand. It throws you into the game. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you this is what you're supposed to do. In fact, even the spray paint cans and the spray painting of walls, that's something I had to figure out a little, and it took me a little while to figure that out. I knew you had to collect the spray paints.
You thought you had to collect them. Yeah, that's what I had to issue.
No, I had no idea that you could paint the walls.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely doesn't like give you much in the way of instructions. There is like, I don't know if it appears immediately, but very soon at least. Right, I forgot where, at what point, there's like a to-do list on the desktop on your OS that allows you to kind of like see potential like achievements. So like one is like peeing off the top of the tallest building, or I didn't realize that there was like a dedicated fart and smoking button until a little bit into the game.
The thing is, the room you start in, I mean, it tells you, the basic thing, how to jump, how to crouch.
Yeah.
On the wall, there's just the letter F just spray painted onto the wall.
Gotcha.
So I think it's meaning for you to like try it out, and yeah, it does absolutely nothing from what I'm able to understand, except make a fart sound.
Yeah.
Which I do like the minimalist setup, just like an F on the wall. It might mean something, it might not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I like the idea of this, and this is why I said it reminds me a lot of Short Hike, is that it just feels like a world to explore. Because it doesn't hold... You know what, actually, it brings up a bigger issue I'm curious to like ask you guys about. I promise this is relevant. There was a new game that just dropped, I think this week, right? Immortals Phoenix Rising, the Ubisoft game, which I actually played on Google Stadia, the demo, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. I liked it quite a bit, actually. I think it's currently sitting at like 82 on Metacritic, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
But I bring it up because the game is very clearly heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild, which I assume you guys have played or at least are familiar with. And, of course, Breath of the Wild, one of the biggest things about it was like exploring this big world. And one of the knocks against Immortals is that it has that whole Ubisoft open world feel to where you can like tag an area or identify the objective, so you know that if I like fly to that island, this is the exact type of quest I'll have. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are saying how they prefer the whole Nintendo Breath of the Wild approach, where you're literally just roaming and you see something cool and then you just explore and find out what happens. And this to me is like an exploration game. Like this is like just about exploring, wondering what's there, what's there.
Mike, is that what people reference the Ubisoft open world fatigue? Is that what they're talking about?
I think that's part of it. I think part of the other part of that is just the amount of content Ubisoft. These days, too many gamers still look at games as like consumer products, where it's like, I want to get 60 hours out of this game in order to justify like my $1 per hour cost. And so with that said, a lot of these bigger companies like Ubisoft are going to invest in padding their content with a ton of different quests.
I'm definitely a proponent on it's the value that you get out of the time.
Yeah.
Definitely there is some type of time staple to maybe your dollar value. But if you're wasting your time, if you spend like 2 hours and feel like you completely wasted your time, compared to me, who I'm playing Ys 8, and it's my second time playing the same exact game, already knowing what the story is, but having just as much fun as the first time I'm playing it. It's the time and the value that you get out of the time you spend, not necessarily how many hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see it because a lot of Ubisoft, like Watch Dogs and stuff like that, they're large open worlds, but for like no reason. Like why do you need this much open world space and stuff? You know?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. How do you guys feel about like the size of this world in comparison to like...
Oh, this world was awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. It was not too daunting. One thing I'll say about Breath of the Wild, I'm a huge Zelda fan, but I didn't play it that much. Like my friend has 280 hours into it. I'm like a third of that.
Yeah.
But it is a little daunting in a good way. You can put it down, put it back. This game's not daunting. Like I can see the buildings in the distance. I know it'll take time, but I can see them. So I like that.
Yeah. And I think that there was enough variation in like the assets that they used. Of course, they have the shipping containers used throughout and some of these like robotic arms, but the areas are designed uniquely enough to where after a while you start to like know where you're going in my mind. It's like one of those things where, I feel like that's a good strong part of like doing strong environmental design in games is like, you actually start to like know the world, and it's like, oh, okay, if I go in this direction, I'm going to go to that burger place, or if I go in this direction, I'm going to go to the chemical factory.
That and the people, the people, the characters inside the actual game provide a lot of life to the actual open world. I mean, otherwise, if there's no NPCs, and it's because of the personalities that they have, and a lot of just oddities and quirkiness and weird things with some of these characters you come across that fills out the world. Because otherwise, it would just be empty.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Like that, the dialogue and, there was one part right there that I liked. It's a little bit of a spoiler here, but you meet these two taggers that are like teaming with one another, and early on they don't respect you, but like as you become more respected and do more, like towards the end of the game, they're giving you a shout out, and I think they give you like a little apology for judging you early on and giving you a shout out for that. So
yeah, all the taggers are actually that way. Like if you talk to them prior to getting their respect, they will diss you. Absolutely.
I see Layla laughing. I'm assuming it's this Twitch comment right here. Vimy saying, I was ready to hear these two buttholes. Yes. Apparently that is one thing I looked up. If you look in this trailer, you will notice there is a cat with 2 buttholes. That this is indeed true. I purposely didn't read much or watch too much about this game, but I think if you take a picture of that cat with 2 buttholes, there may be something special waiting for you.
There are a lot of things in this game that, like, out of context, it just makes you sound insane.
It almost reminds me. It almost reminds me of the humans. I think I've said this before in a different one of these indie game clubs. It almost reminds me of the humans of like Invader Zim or something.
Yeah.
Not quite as nasty, but they're just all a little weird and apathetic and absurd.
Yeah.
But I wrote a note down. If anyone's a fan of the podcast, Hello from the Magic Tavern, 2 Buttholes is a very sought after body improvement. So I'll just leave that.
Really?
There.
Is there a reason for it?
It's all a joke. It's an improv thing. It's all a joke.
Okay, all right. Because I'll be like, I know some people with 2 shit comes out the mouth and the
No. I'm not. This is not real at all. They're improv. They're pretending they're in a magical world.
I want to know their reasons for that.
Y'all are lit.
They're silly. They're trying to make people laugh. That's the reasons.
Well, I'm just wondering. I'm thinking from like an evolutionary perspective. Like, how can mankind benefit from that mutation?
I think they talked about eating soup through the butt instead of the mouth is more enjoyable or something. But you gotta. I'm like 190 episodes into the podcast. You gotta catch up. No, I remember in the game. I just see it.
Oh God, 198 episodes. So is this like a One Piece situation?
They do it weekly. And they've been doing it for like 3 years. But no, I remember finding the whiteboard because I don't think I found the cat in the game, but I found the whiteboard, and I was like, "What is this shit? Is this the fly?" Like, oh, the cat we don't know how this happened. A cat accidentally went on our teleportation machine, and now it has 2 buttholes. And I was just like laughing, like this game is so absurd, but I love it.
It's got a lot of cool humor.
What'd you say, Tony?
Sounds like South Park.
Yeah, like it sounds like it's this podcast. Like it's really goofy, but I dig it.
I like.
Layla really digs it.
it's lit.
No, this whole game is just stylistically ugly.
Yeah,
in like the best way possible. Yeah.
That's the way to put it.
Beautiful, ugly. How do you just? Yeah, like almost like It's a weird descriptor. Vimy is saying I was right. Oh, no. I'm sure Team Cat has a lot of questions about those cat buttholes. Also, I'm assuming this is in reference to the soup comment. Vimy said, like a warm, soothing bidet.
Now, are we talking like tomato soup, or are we talking like clam chowder?
We're talking chunky vegetable.
Oh, God.
Oh boy!
I mean, if you enjoy your bidet, which I had never used a warm bidet until I bought it myself this year. All my friends were.
Oh, did you get one of those?
They're affordable. I actually started price checking them. They're around the $50 range.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Bidets are they're within millennial reach now. We can all be rich.
Yeah, you can get it for like $50. You can get it from like Amazon and Groupon.
Yeah, I got mine for like $80. I was like 2020 toilet paper sold out.
Let us know in the chat. Are you on Team Bidet or not? Let us know. We have to know if you're on Team Bidet or not.
I don't know. I spent too much on avocados to buy a bidet.
Totally.
Yeah, avocado toast.
Millennium life. Oh man. Vimy said mine was $30. He's on Team Bidet for sure. Interesting. I don't know. I gotta think about my bidet stance is. Is it how hard is it? I haven't used it since like the last time I used it was honestly like I was as a kid, like with my family, like visiting my family's home of Europe and all that stuff. Like I haven't used it in modern adult times.
How hard is it to use, or talking about pressure?
Pressure.
I mean, okay. So first off, welcome to Indie Game Bidet Club. We got 3 more bidets to review. I forgot which exact.
I'm on a bidet right now.
Oh yeah, he's on a bidet right now, ladies and gentlemen. So why don't you tell us? How do you feel? No,
you don't
the
see the
brand
bottom.
is the brand I have is Lux Bidet, but I don't know. I don't remember which model. But that I'll say pressure is one thing I personally have a problem with. Like, it's like 0 to 100. You pull the knob
It's
up
too
and
much.
it's like slamming you. So you have to get used to. And maybe there's a way to do the piping or the wiring for the hot line and the cold line. Maybe I did it like too loose or something. I don't know. But you have to just very gently pull it up.
Otherwise, it's like you're getting a what's that thing where you get like they like rinse
Pressure washer?
No, there's like a procedure where you can get like that part of your body like rinsed out or cleaned, like a
Colonic?
Is that a colonic?
I
Yeah.
learned about it. Yeah.
So you
I
have
don't,
like
I don't think it's quite that, but I recognize the comparison.
It's like you go to and you get an appointment, and it's like they flush out your system or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting right there. Vimy saying dad's dab, boys bidet. Brokowski saying bidet all day, all day. Layla apparently agreeing to the dad's dab, boys bidet comment right there. Layla, what's your stance on bidets?
I've literally never used one ever. I've never, so
No.
I don't even know.
If you
But
were offered
I-
a $30 or $50 bidet, are you joining Team Bidet at that point?
Hell yeah.
Yes, I will be prepared to give the most in-depth review after. Give me a bidet and I will do a review.
The version I got has only 2 settings, like normal and like feminine, so it shoots a little bit further forward when you switch to feminine. So
Really?
yeah,
That's the option?
just clean yourself, just rinse, just a quick little rinse. I don't know.
Wow. This is
I think I work hard enough to get me a $50.
Yo, you got that you got that banker job rolling, Tony. You deserve this, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was like super expensive, but now I'm gonna be like those rich guys.
Yeah,
You get
$50.
that low sponsor back for
Oh god. I would love
bidet.
We need
Plus
a
a review copy.
yeah, I would love. They might even sell them there. But I'd love to have like a meeting with them when I'm pitching like my next project, and they're like, so Michael, that bidet episode."
Please sponsor Mike, please.
Yeah,
What's bidet?
If anybody knows any bidet companies, up and coming bidet, indie bidet companies, we don't want any big corporate. We need some indie ones.
Indie Bidet Club?
Indie bidet club.
Indie bidet club.
Oh man, I would love to see a consumer review on a bidet. Like, how do you even do that one? Like, you just be like, man, before I used a bidet, it was just.
Yeah, I know it sounds like really random when you talk about like consumer reviews on a bidet. Are you guys all aware of that sugar-free gummy bears?
Yes. The troll review, the super long like story.
I don't know this.
7.
I'm the only one, apparently. Tell
I
me.
don't know either.
This cannot be told unless we're trying to go to like 11 p.m. This tale
Yeah,
cannot be
this
told
is
right
something you
now.
just need to go on Amazon reviews and see for yourself.
It is a very long, hilarious write-up.
Oh, it's like somebody like purposely, comedically, like took it seriously, sort of thing.
Well,
I mean,
that
I'm
and
a-
the sugar-free gummy bears themselves are, yeah.
They're crazy. Yeah. You'll need a bidet, basically. You'll need a bidet if you have one of those.
After reading the review.
No, I mean, I'm a believer. Like, some people don't trust in the new gods, but I'm a believer. I think
New gods.
I think everything he wrote was the truth, so I'm just putting that out there.
I mean, have you experienced like has it changed your life that much?
After the review, sure, but after reading that review, I'm not buying those.
Oh no, I thought the
You need to be
bidet
buying that.
experience. I thought you using a bidet.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, guys, definitely for people in the chat, guys, this is going to make you laugh a lot. When you get a chance, I just put the link into the sugar-free gummy bears. Just read the reviews. Apparently, it's a very heavy antioxidant.
Here, we have Layla. Do you see that link he did in there? We
it's
have.
in the Discord chat.
I think it's.
No, it's on
No,
Twitch.
no, Twitch chat. My bad. I put it in the Twitch chat. Let me highlight
No,
it
the
too,
Twitch. The Twitch chat.
It won't let you.
Yeah, if
post
you
link.
send
you-
it to us, I need to add you guys on there because Layla now can
Yeah.
fix
You
those.
can
don't
send
have,
it in the Discord chat. I can copy it and put it in.
You don't have privileged god angel status like Layla does.
Oh,
You gotta get for the non bidet users.
The non-bidet users now discussing Sludge Life Part 2.
Yes. Oh, this is a perfect tie-in,
I
isn't
didn't
it?
even combine that sludge life and the days. Oh my god.
This is
Oh,
prequel. Oh boy.
Layla is a 10 out of 10. You deserve a tip for that one.
Yes. Send some bits your way.
I'm like, is it 9 yet before I start talking? Y'all have the floor.
Throw them your way.
True
You have
God today.
our permission, Layla. The 9 o'clock curfew has been reduced. You can jump in at any time with your true angelic nature. Derivative, I love how you said water tasted terrible. 1 star. Hey, shout out to Tempest636. Look at that, doing triple duty, drinking water on the show and donating bits and talking bidets. Talking bidets with Jordan. I love
Making
it. Thank you.
hydrating, making you all the money.
You are awesome. You are awesome. I love it. Oh man. Let us know if you want more premium bidet content on here. We can definitely add more bidet talk. Maybe we'll add cord. Hold on, real quick.
No.
I gotta.
No.
What was that? Our special guest here. Courtney. So what's is Courtney popped up on y'all's stream already? I'm not sure which picture. I never know which picture to use of Courtney. The one where she's standing next to the arcade, or the one where she's like peeking out.
Oh no.
Let's do the one where she's peeking
Courtney.
out.
Did you just add
Yeah,
a cigarette in her hand whenever you were the one she's speaking?
Courtney.
You called me.
It takes. I feel like if you are, is there a correlation between chronic smoking usage and lack of bidet usage? Getting us back on track here with smoking. If you notice in the video game, Sludge Life by Devolver Digital. This is like a perfect Devolver Digital review. Actually, I think they would actually love this. If you've watched their press conferences or anything, they're so insane. I think they would absolutely love bidet talk. Did you guys notice how many people were smoking in this game? Like cats were smoking. I think I'm.
Well, I know you could as well. I couldn't.
You
figure
could
out
as
what
well.
You actually used it for.
I don't think it actually did anything for you. I don't know, unless there was like some sort of puzzle or something I wasn't aware of. I don't think there was any sort of benefit to smoking them cigarettes. But see right there, you see Siggy is dead. There was a cigarette, or the top of a statue fell on this like cigarette mascot. I think like the big corporation there, like is a cigarette corporation, right?
I mean,
Yeah, that was the big company.
That makes sense because they're literally surrounded by sludge and it's leaking from their tankards, you know.
That's
The game was very anti-capitalism,
yeah.
and I'm all for it.
Oh, now we're getting spicy here. Now we're getting to an ideological conversation here. I don't.
2077. Yeah.
Yeah. AAA talk. I actually can't wait for that game for sure.
Yeah, Steve.
Vimy saying, "God, I miss cigarettes." Let us know your stance on cigarettes. Anything we talk about, we want to know your stance. We want to know your stance on cigarettes, capitalism, bidets. That's what we do at Indie Game Club. I don't know why, Derivative, your comment reminded me of this, but this game also now reminds me of Jazzpunk. Anybody played that game before? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
I've been meaning to.
I would recommend everybody check out Jazzpunk. Look that one up for sure. Vimy saying Team Nicotine. Love Jazzpunk. He says, "Yay, love Jazzpunk. I love it." Yeah, Jazzpunk I think is awesome. And if you like Jazzpunk, it also got comparisons to another game which I think it loses loses relevance, I guess, among the comparison chain. But another game visually similar to Jazz Punk is games from Brendan Chung. If you've ever played 30 Flights of Loving or what was his first game? The game before it, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but look up Brendan Chung, Blendo Games. Look up Blendo Games for some amazing experiences. Actually, two games that we should definitely do, at least two that we should do on Indie Game Club. Vimy saying relaxes expected mothers during childbirth. Are we talking about cigarettes or bidets? You gotta clarify.
She's it's a team nick.
Gotcha. I was assuming that was the case. I like how you took my comment really seriously, Layla, as if I was advocating.
Yes.
You mean that's not how your pregnancy worked? There was no bidet involved? Flush the child out. In a good way. Out into the world. Okay. All right. We're coming to the end of Indie Game Club here.
Probably would have came in handy.
End of this episode. Perhaps the end of the whole show. This may be remembered as the beginning or the total end. My doctor from the 50s says cigarettes are as good for you as apples. It's wild looking at that advice there. And saying he's also a staunch McCarthyist. Oh God, I love all of this. We do it for you all in these comments. This is fantastic. Any lost thoughts about Sludge Life? I'm
going to say this completely out of context, and I'm going to leave it at that. Do mushrooms.
Yeah.
Do mushrooms.
Agreed. I will add context since I have liability from a standpoint.
Okay, maybe I should go find some mushrooms.
From a liability standpoint, I will say Potions and Pixels is about, I guess, mushroom usage limited to the scope of this game. Although I will say this, I spent a lot of time this morning researching how mushrooms are effective for depression and anxiety and a whole host of things.
Did you really? Okay, I want to really talk.
Yeah, we should what psilocybin. If you guys look at this.
In mental health.
Does anybody want to go with me to one of these treatment places and do a mushroom trip and try to make yourself a better human being?
Oh, that's how it works.
I don't feel like I'm getting no reaction from you guys right now.
Is that what? I'm taking it serious too. Like, is that legal in North Carolina?
Right? Is it?
Well,
is it medically legal?
It's decriminalized in Oregon.
Oregon. Well, actually, for treatment purposes, Oregon as well. Like, you can actually. It's I not only think it decriminalized, but legalized for like medical purposes. So you can actually go to like a treatment facility, and I think it was decriminalized in Colorado. So you can't be punished for holding a certain amount. But in Oregon, you can straight up like get a doctor's appointment and have one of these sessions where you can.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in effect now, but I know they just. In the most recent election, they voted for it.
That's right.
They passed it. Just like how Arizona passed weed legalization, but North Carolina didn't.
North Carolina, we still don't have medical marijuana. Like, what's going on?
Gotta get up with the times.
What's going on?
I have high cholesterol. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's probably
all these opinions that come out of my mouth on my own. They don't reflect Mike at all. Lux Bidet, call him, ignore me.
It's all good. I think Potions and Pixels is such a bizarre nonprofit. Like one day I'm meeting with all these companies and talking about like educational programs and like things for kids and workforce development, and the other days I'm talking bidets and Indie Game Club, holding a stuffed animal with you guys. So we're paving our own path here on Indie Game Club. But yeah, it does remind me. I used to work for a one of the largest environmental nonprofits. I probably shouldn't name them for this story, but I guess you can find out in the world. And our headquarters was California. And I remember anytime I'd visit there, the folks there would just tell me the most ridiculous stories about how easy it was to get like a marijuana prescription. They would be like literally they would just go to the doctor and be like, I think my shoulder hurts.